Hi, I'm Scott Mertens, and today I'm going to be informing you on what life was like during 1918 while the influenza pandemic was going on. A little background for those of you who don't know what the influenza pandemic was. The influenza pandemic affected people of all ages, races, and gender. It affected nearly 500 million people, and back then that was about half of the world's population. It's the world's third largest epidemic. Life during 1918 started out quite well. The economy was up, people had more money than they were used to, and because of all this excess money, they wanted places to spend it. So people were leaving their country properties and moving to rural and city areas for places to spend their money. And because of all these people spending money, the entertainment industry grew during this time. Movie theaters, pool halls, jazz halls, recreation centers opened up, new stores opened up. It was all great and good. People were spending their money, they were enjoying life, but it also was bad because the increased population in these city areas, almost to the point of overpopulation, made it easy for this pandemic to spread throughout everyone because all of the people interaction. Also during this time, World War I was going on. Men were being drafted and sent off to training camps. And in these training camps, the quarters and bunk rooms they had to live in were so tightly confined that they became breeding grounds for all different kinds of diseases, and among them the influenza pandemic. That's why U.S. troops were among the first people to be infected with this influenza pandemic. And when they completed their training and were sent off to the war, they spread it to our troops overseas, and then it would spread internationally. And when they came back, it just spread it into our country. During the peak of this virus, many things were infected. Public transportation was affected. People were afraid to take buses and subways due to the fact that, just like the training camps, because everyone was in such tight quarters that if one person had it and they coughed, everyone else is likely to have it now. Education was put on a hold. No one was going to school anymore. Businesses and churches lay empty. Everyone was afraid to get the disease. The city became unsanitary. Garbage was piling up in the streets because there was no more garbage men to pick up the trash. Communication services went down. No one received mail. No one could make calls because there was no operators working anymore. Ways the states went about trying to quarantine this disease was some states passed laws that people had to wear white masks. So they thought maybe it was a way to slow down the spreading process. Also, they had laws against spitting, because if you had it and you would spit, you would contaminate an area. A funny fact is a doctor said that alcohol was a possible cure for this pandemic, so the U.S. had a shortage in alcohol. A scary fact back then, life expectancy today is about 75 for men and like 80 for women. Back then it was only 54 for men and 53 for women, and children were lucky if they made it past 5. So life back then was pretty tough if you were a child. Thank you for your time. I hope this gave you some information about what life was like during 1918.